Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I trust everyone watching this as well. So today we'll be discussing Jannah, also known as paradise. Okay, so Jannah is the ultimate destination for all Muslims, or at least it should be, and it is a realm filled with eternal joy, peace, as well as fulfillment. It is where every longing is satisfied, every desire is fulfilled, as well as every dream that we have is fully realized. And it is also considered the ultimate divine reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It awaits those who have lived a life filled with kindness, filled with faith as well as of righteous deeds. And it is a representation of hope, beauty, and it's a promise for something far greater than anything in this worldly life. So, as Muslims, we often do have a saying that goes and translates to in Jannah, inshallah. And whether we are praying for a loved one or one who has passed or longing for something that seems impossible in this life, we remind ourselves that Jannah is where all of our wishes do indeed come true. And this is a simple phrase that basically reflects the deep significance of Jannah. It is the place where we finally have everything that our heart truly desires. Okay? So, next question is you should be asking yourself, what exactly is Jannah? Or what does it look like? Why does it hold such a special place in the hearts of Muslims? So, to understand all of that, you really have to break down the basics. So, the definition, or according to the Quran, at least, Jannah is, like I mentioned, paradise, a garden of everlasting bliss and a home of peace. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala determines when one dies, and then they stay in their graves until the day of judgment, when they are also resurrected and brought to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be judged on how they have lived their life in the dunya, on this earth. And if they have lived well, they go to any of the many levels of Jannah. And if not, they go to hell, also known as Jahannam. So that's the difference, Jannah and Jahannam. So according to the Quran itself, Jannah is a place of perfect peace and beauty, free from any pain, exhaustion, or any sorrows. It is a eternal home where Muslims will never be asked to leave ever. In this paradise, believers are adorned with gold, pearls, and diamonds, draped in garments of the finest silk, as well as seated upon elevated thrones of luxury. And there's also no suffering and no sadness in any form, only pure joy, happiness, and everlasting pleasure. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises the righteous a breathtaking garden where trees bear fruits without thorns, flowers bloom in abundance, and streams of crystal clear, cool water flows endlessly. Fruits as well as delicacies are piled high, always within reach, and the companions of paradise are radiant with beauty, such as luminous eyes and many other different features. Okay, so in Jannah, there's also no such thing as conflict, no hardship, no intoxications. Like I mentioned, only harmony and bliss, right? It's paradise. So this paradise is home to several things. We've got 4 majestic rivers and several different mountains towering of musk and valleys of pearls, rubies, and just everything that one would desire or one would categorize. Back to the failure in English. Anything that one would categorize luxury in, it's on another level in Jannah. Okay, and also a fun fact, Jannah has 8 different gates or doors through which Muslims can enter after their resurrection, of course, on the day of judgment. And it also has multiple levels in which good Muslims reside and commune with angels as well as the different prophets. So according to how good you are and all of that, you would just be placed in the many different levels of Jannah as well. So yeah, I will be making several different videos covering the topic, because you can't just make one video. It's paradise. There's a lot that we can break down. So inshallah, in the future we'll cover everything else. But just to mention on the different 8 gates, to enter one of these 8 gates of Jannah, Muslims must strive to live a life of righteousness as well as devotion. This includes performing good deeds, speaking the truth, seeking knowledge, and even having sincere fear and reverence for the most merciful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and regularly attending the mosque in the morning as well as afternoons, evenings as well, remaining humble and living a life free of arrogance. You can basically see where I'm going with this. Like, these are just like the simple ways of obviously trying your best to obtain that type of lifestyle. But I feel as if like this isn't even something that needed to be said. Obviously, it's a good thing that we're reminding each other, because I'm reminding you, I'm reminding myself by making this video. But it's just something to touch on, really. So, like I mentioned, there's different gates, 8 to be exact, to enter Jannah, and the different types of levels of Jannah. We've got obviously the most, I was about to say infamous, the Jannatul Firdaus, Jannah ul Qasif, Naim, Adan. Like, there's so many, and I really would like to break down all of them, but that will just come with time, inshallah. Ameen. So yeah, guys, inshallah, we all live a righteous life, or at least try our best to abstain from sin and obtain the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rather than the anger and shame. And inshallah, we all obtain Jannatul Firdaus one day, and we get our book of deeds handed to us in our right hand on the day of judgment, as well as we've got protection from the punishment of the grave as well, because that, I'm gonna be honest, from the reviews, I'm not trying to get that. No, thank you. So yeah, that was today's video, just covering surface level of Jannah. Like I mentioned, there's so many things that we could break down, not just what Jannah is and what to expect, but also, I guess, how it was created, the stories, what was told from it, specific things that we can expect. Like, we could go into detail, but different day, inshallah. But until then, I hope everyone stays well. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.